Hello and welcome back to my channel. Today is just going to be a quick video because unfortunately I didn't have a very productive or prolific first week of NaNoWriMo National Novel Writing Month. Unfortunately, for the second year in a row, Nano has officially canceled all in-person write-ins, which is just ridiculous. I'm not a fan of this let's have lockdown forever cult, but anyway, let's just get on with this subject. I wrote this blog post in November 2016 called My Thoughts on Nano overachieving. Now, I have always overachieved every year I've officially participated in Nano, which means I wrote over 500,000 words, and frequently in the Camp Nano months in July and April, I also overachieve. You can set your own goal in those months. It can be as low as like 10,000 words, and also now you can do like hours edited or hours worked, things like that. It doesn't have to be, words. It's much more loose and relaxed because it's not the official Nano. But anyway, I do personally overachieve during Nano months, but not like to the extreme extent as these people I'm about to discuss. I naturally write very prolifically, very quickly, particularly when I'm inspired. Some books have written me more than I've written them, judging by first draft word counts like 397,000 3 months, that was Little Ragdoll, and 406,000 words in 5 months, that was on the 12th time, which is the second of my books with my Russian-born characters. I'll talk more about them in the future. When I've had that particular story memorized backwards and forwards in my head for years because I have a very elephantine memory naturally, the words flow even faster as they're finally given an outlet. Every year I've officially participated in Nano, I've gone over 50K. Two of the 3 years I unofficially did Nano, and I later honestly and retroactively added my word count I had written in those particular Novembers, I also went over 50K. The only reason I didn't go over 50K the first year, 2010, was because I didn't start until the 18th of November. I certainly did write at least 100K each month I was writing that book. That was Little Ragdoll, by the way. As of the end of Tuesday of this post I had written in 2016, it was posted on November 23rd. My Nano word count for that month stood at 442,000 words, so I was on track to overachieve yet again. In my biggest year, I believe it was 2019, I wrote 101,000 words. That was exhausting. I think I must have pulled around 8,000 words on the final day, and I've also had one day it was somewhere in the 7,000 range, but that's not generally what I write at all. I was basically like almost dry heaving by the end because I was like just forcing myself to write and write and write for hours. My last Nano, I did only 53,000 words, unfortunately, and about half of that came from creative nonfiction in the form of blog posts. That was not a very good or representative year for me, but again, that was unfortunately because of lockdown and no in-person write-ins, and I'm just not very, motivated and inspired to write a lot anymore because I can't go out to the library or do write-ins with like writing groups and things like that when you're basically all on your own, and it's very difficult to have privacy and time to write uninterrupted and things like that. It just doesn't naturally come for me, unfortunately, but Baruch Hashem, hopefully I will be back on track with my normally prolific daily word counts by next year at this time, hopefully. However, there's a big difference between naturally coming by a high word count in a short span of time and forcing yourself to crank out hundreds of thousands of words within a mere month. At absolute most, I might be able to do about 250K in a month if I were really well prepared, motivated, and inspired, and had the luxury of enough time each day. That said, that's still not something I'd ever deliberately shoot for. Some people try to write the first 50K on the first day, which is freaking ridiculous in my opinion, and the opinion of probably most people. And that year I wrote the blog post I'm discussing, 2016, I even saw someone humble bragging about finishing within the first 12 hours. It's called National Novel Writing Month, not Novel Writing Day or National Novel Writing Weekend or week or fortnight. It's a month, 30 days. What do you honestly get out of forcing yourself to sit at the keyboard for almost an entire day at a stretch, pounding out so many words? This isn't a contest. While I do feel disappointed in myself for not keeping to my normal daily averages more days in the last, I guess, couple of years, and a few times even before lockdown I was struggling. Unfortunately, I do, suffer from like cyclical depression, and it was basically kicking in one of those years I was underachieving, which was 2016, but that's, mostly resolves right now. My depression is fairly under control, but unfortunately, lockdown is hurting my mental health, but it's not as severe or bad as it has been in the past, thank God. My typical output in the past was still only several thousand words, not at least 35K each day. I'm truly curious as to what kinds of projects these extreme overachievers are working on. My conservative guesstimate for the book I was working on then, and actually the same guesstimate roughly for the book I'm writing on now, my alternative history, is about maybe 300 to 400K, but that's, a historical saga deliberately being planned out as at a long length, and it spans many years and has many characters, so you can't just easily wrap that up within 288 pages. You just can't do that. And I challenge all these people who say, oh, people don't have long attention spans anymore. You just need to make this into a serial or a trilogy, or just make it much shorter. Like, point to any long books they love and are familiar with, let's say like War and Peace. Well, actually, that War and Peace actually did, I would agree, need some editing, but it still would have come out really long, even with some of those, chapters and things cut out. But let's say, Gone with the Wind or Forever Amber are books many people might be familiar with that are really long, or the book set in Scotland, the Outlander series. I'm sorry, I've never read any of those books. A lot of people have recommended it, but I know they're very long. Like, point to which, subplots and characters and chapters should be hacked out, so those books can be a more like socially acceptable length of maybe 400 pages. And you cannot be the same book anymore if you're just like chopping out hundreds of pages just to conform to some short little length. I'm sorry, that's just not what a deliberate saga is like. You're putting in lots of characters and subplots and setting it over many years for a reason. You're not just doing it because you don't know how to write well. It's because you're deliberately planning that book as like very long and complex and detailed and sprawling. Unfortunately, many people nowadays don't understand the purpose, or like that books really can be long deliberately. It's not because you don't know how to write or you needed to learn to edit yourself. But anyway, I'm going off on a tangent, I'm sorry. And I doubt all these people trying for 250K, 300K, 500K, 700K, a million words in 1 month are writing deliberate sagas with huge ensemble casts spanning many years. Are these collections of stories, several different projects counted together, really long fan fictions, just unfocused rambling that could easily be cut down to 100K or less without losing anything? Because some books can be naturally short. For example, my Atlantic City books have always naturally unfolded at a relatively short length, under 100K, and those have turned out to be the ones that need the most extensive rewriting and revising and editing, because they are so short, and I write much better when I deliberately plan and plot it out as a very long. Even I'm not crazy and prolific enough to think every book needs to be a doorstopper, nor that a length of several million words for one book is normal. I was stunned enough when the first draft of Journey Through a Dark Forest ended up 891K, though at least each of the 4 parts reads like its own story, with the focus on different characters and storylines. And I will also be discussing that book more in future as well when I have some physical copies to show you guys. They are available in both ebook and paperback, but I haven't ordered my own copies yet for reasons I will explain later. Someone like myself this year, for example, who's struggling to meet the daily minimum every single day, or who's fallen sharply behind due to unforeseen circumstances, doesn't need to see someone humble bragging in the message boards, "Ooh, I was so lazy yesterday and only wrote 30K," or "I totally failed Nano because I only wrote 750K instead of a million like usual." I'm going to call the majority of this as crap writing. How can there be any quality when you're forcing out that many words so swiftly? Quality matters more than quantity. I like getting to know my characters and going on the journey through life with them, not plowing through their stories within one day. It's also ridiculous to plan any story at a million words. What are you writing that absolutely needs to be a million damn words? And there was also one year, that might have been 2016 as well, or maybe later, this woman on the message boards who was doing some ridiculous extreme overachieving. She claimed she didn't even eat or drink once for 3 days in a row. She was wearing adult diapers so she didn't have to go to the bathroom, and she was also pregnant with triplets. I mean, that is an obvious liar for many reasons. I mean, obviously many women who are writers, and when they're pregnant, they feel, oh, this is like one last hurrah, better like get as much writing in, or whatever other like hobby or crafts they're doing before, baby or babies come, because I won't have the chance to have so much like luxury of uninterrupted time when I'm raising my babies for at least until they're in school. But even then you can't just like be wearing adult diapers and not eating or drinking when you're pregnant because you're just obsessed with writing. You should have other priorities too, not just writing as much as possible before the babies come earthside. Crafting a quality story, no matter its length or brevity, takes time. Quality can never come when you're pounding away at the keyboard for almost every waking hour, forcing out at least 25,000 words each day. Some of these people even give tips on how to pad out word count, like lots of dream sequences, explaining basic things over and over again, info dumps, complete song lyrics, many quotes, not using contractions, writing out common abbreviations like DVD and ATM, and characters constantly recapping scenes that just happened in like lots of "as you know, Bob" dialogue. I'd rather stick to my realistic, natural type of overachieving than vomit forth a profusion of words just for wordiness' sake. Now, hopefully you've listened to the end. If so, thank you very much. I know this was much shorter than usual, but I'm trying to get back to catch up with my nano word count. Hopefully this week will be much more productive than the last, and there are a bunch of Zoom chats with my writing group from back home in Albany, New York, and maybe some other chats I'll be doing with like Nano in the local to where I am now group, although I never unfortunately clicked with them very much, even when we were doing in-person write-ins, because there wasn't really a chance to like socialize and become friends between the word count, the word sprints, and it was just basically, well, we're there for writing, and that's basically all we do. And it felt so cold and emotionally sterile to me, unfortunately. But I'm still a member of the group back in Albany, even though I don't live there anymore. And many people who have moved away from the area have remained in the group as well, because it was just such wonderful, comradeship and camaraderie and things like that. So hopefully I will be doing, I'm not sure if I'll do another post or vlog later this week, but I definitely will do at least one next week. So look forward to seeing you guys then. And if you noticed, I have some lovely new lapis lazuli jewelry for my nostril piercing, which is nice. And when I get the other side done for my birthday in December, I'm hoping to get the same, and they'll be joined by a gold chain after that. And I also have a lovely new 14, I think it's 14, maybe 18 karat gold jack-o'-lantern in my second lobe piercing in my right ear, which is really fun. I'm in the process of upgrading my jewelry, and I have a lovely idea for how I'm going to decorate my helix flats if there's enough room. It's going to be a heart, a sun, and some stars to represent the last line of the Divine Comedy, so that'll be really fun. And obviously it does take time to like work on ear piercings, but maybe by next year at this time, or hopefully within at least 2 years from that, will be all complete. So see you very soon. Thanks. Bye.